Hello, Takima.
Hello, Dr. Austin.
Well, thank you so much for spending time with us on the Dear Professor series, where college students who take courses online speak their minds. This is our very special segment called Remember the Time. For this segment, I would like for you to share one of the funniest, scariest, nerve-wracking, disturbing, or fulfilling situations you experience in an online course. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm actually going to share the most nerve-wracking time
Okay.
that I've had online. But I guess it's funny because it's nerve-wracking, but it's funny because it turns out that it was just basically a reflection of myself in a way. Um,
Mm.
the most nerve-wracking time was we had a class where we had to meet weekly with a group, and we had one in particular member in our group that every single week that person would say, I'm older, so I really don't know technology. I just don't know what I'm doing. I just don't know what I'm doing. um And that person would say, "Well, sometimes I just don't have time." And that my family member was supposed to help me, but they can't because they don't have time. And I didn't know what I was doing. And then they would say, "Well, no, we'll just go with your answer because mine's ain't that good."
Mm.
And so that was the most nerve wracking, but it was a reflective part because I would oftentimes say, "Well, y'all just go ahead. Well, maybe mine ain't that good." And but so working with that nerve-wracking person taught me to sometimes shut up, listen, pay attention to what I'm doing. It was a self-reflection for me. And I kind of stopped self-doubting myself, as my professor reminded me to do a time or two. Um, so, so
So
that's
tell us a little bit more about that self-doubting. How did that happen? How did you do that? How did that play out, I guess, in the online space? What would you
in
do?
in online space, the self-doubt, it was my perception after listening to how people were responding to it was
Mhm.
that I learned that there were other people who had doubts about being online students, but it brought the morale down. Um, it affected my classmates in a negative tone, so to speak, because it you can hear that they did not want to hear that, and they just felt like, well, let me say, to me, it just felt like they just really didn't want to be bothered, almost like, can we just not have her come to class next week? um
Oh, because you're sharing negativity? Is that what you're
right.
saying? Okay.
So that was my perception of what was going on, especially after dealing with that person that was in that group, because I know there was a couple times where I was like, can she just not come next week?
Right.
um
So it drains you.
right, it's very draining. But
Mm.
so it kind of helped me to just learn how to be quiet, to listen, and to put more effort in reading to understand the material, because I always felt like everybody else understood the material better than I did based off of their explanations.
Oh, I see. So what made it? You said it was gonna be nerve-wracking and it was gonna be funny too.
Yeah, so I thought that it was funny because it made me self-reflect, like, "Oh, wait, other people see me as this same person." So that's why it was.
Oh, so you were seeing that other person was getting on your nerves, being and not being fair, and then you thought of yourself, "Well, I'm probably doing the same thing to
Right.
everybody else as well." Oh, yeah, that is funny. So
So,
that's good. Like you can see in other people when you point out, like maybe critique others, that it might be something that you're also dealing with.
yeah. So,
Indeed.
yeah,
Well,
so
thank
that's
you, Takima, for. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say that's why I just thought that it was funny because it made me get myself together.
Exactly. And that's the best part, self reflection.
Yes.
Well, thank you all for joining us. And thank you, Takima, for sharing that experience. Remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And please join us on Wednesday, October the 18th, when the full episode of this interview with Mrs. Takima Hoy-Hines premieres on the Dear Professor series, where college students who take courses online speak their minds. See you then. Bye bye.